So welcome back to part 2 of this video on the performance triangle. If you're watching this, it means you are in our Facebook community. Welcome if you've only recently joined, or if you've been in for a while, thank you for making it such an amazing community. It just goes from strength to strength to strength. Now, in the second part of this video, this series on the performance triangle, I'm going to talk to you about how you would actually address the issues. Remember, we talked about the reasons why people don't perform is because they don't know how to do the thing, they don't know they need to do it, or they don't know why they need to do it. They're just not motivated. And so I'll give you some examples of this in a moment, because this comes from, as a reminder, a webinar, a Promotion Academy webinar, where a small group of us, there's 7 individuals from police forces in Northern Ireland, Wales and England. We do have people in the academy from Scotland, but they weren't present on this one. And we talked about how you would answer a question around performance, either forward-facing or rear-facing. We actually came up with something that'd be pretty awesome. And this is part of it. And so, how are you actually going to address these performance issues? We are not going to do action plans. I mean, action plans don't work. As I talked about in the first video, they don't work. If anyone would like to persuade me that they do, or anyone is in a force where they're going to say, yeah, action plans so work in our force, then let me know. I'd love to see what you're doing, because in my experience in 4 decades of policing, it's just under 39 years of being in the police sector, I've never seen an action plan that's worked. I've never seen anyone who's come out of one saying that was amazing. I'm so pleased I was on an action plan. It's just things that people never say. So how are we going to do this? Right, we're going to do it by addressing the issue. We're going to confront it. We are not going to save it up until the performance is so bad, until this person is so sidelined. We've got people giving them nicknames like uniform carrier or useless, or writing them off for whatever reason, or lazy. We are not going to go down that road. We're not going to let that happen. Because I don't believe that anyone actually comes to work thinking, today I'm going to do a terrible job. Today I'm going to do the worst I possibly can. I absolutely believe that it's in human nature that people come to work wanting to do a good job, but they can't perform and do the good job because of one of these 3 reasons. And so, a lot of this is actually morphed, by the way, from all sorts of different influences. And also from raising children, theories behind raising children. Those of you who've got children may be thinking, yeah, I get some of this. We don't address the child, we don't attack the child for being naughty, for underperforming. We address their behaviour. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to address their behaviour. So the first thing we need to do is sit down with a person and just make it really clear. The reason why I want to speak to you is because you are not complying with the body-worn video policy. You're not complying with the new policy, or the things that need doing around domestic violence or stop search, or whatever the thing is. Whatever the thing is, just confront it. And I'd like to have a chat with you about that, see what I can do to make it better, to improve it. And then we're going to give them a positive stroke by saying, because you're just the sort of person who normally does the new policy really well, or whatever it is really well, you can be relied upon to do. So we're going to give them a positive stroke. And we're going to use the phrase, you're just the sort of person, because when we do that, we are giving them a label. We're giving them a label that they are just the sort of person who is like the thing that they want to be. We're not going to say you're just the sort of person who's actually quite lazy, because that is just going to destroy them. We're in a position of power, remember. There's a sergeant, there's an inspector, you're in a position of power. So, or a tutor constable. Some of you might be thinking this is useful as a tutor constable. It will be. You're just a sort of person who, give them a positive thing. But I've noticed that you're not doing the thing, whatever the thing is. Now, most of the time we'll ask them, why is that? Why is a really hard question to answer. So if you think about it, the time you were asked the question why the most was when you were a child. So why did you spill the milk? Why did you do that? It wasn't my fault. You told me I had to do it. She did it. She told me to do it. He told me to do it. You go back to that mode, don't you? So if you look at the theory around transactional analysis, you go back into a very childlike state and you try and justify yourself. And so for that reason, we're going to ask the questions, what questions, as opposed to why questions, like, what do you feel is causing this? But before we get there, we're not gonna dive into that, because even if you ask them, you're not performing, what do you feel the cause of this is, or what do you think or believe the cause of this is? You'll get different responses, by the way. If you ask for feelings, you'll get feelings. If you ask for beliefs, you'll get beliefs. If you ask for thoughts, you'll get thoughts. You can rotate those depending on whether the person's upset, whatever. You'll use the F word, feel. If they are very cognitive, you'll ask think. If they are very much about values, then you'll ask beliefs. Anyway, so what do you feel the reason might be? They don't know. If they knew, they'd be performing, wouldn't they? They'll have sorted it out themselves. So when we ask that question, I think it's very difficult to get a good answer out of people. So instead, we're going to do this. We're going to say, you're just the sort of person who, I've noticed that you're not doing the thing. Is it because you don't know how to do it? Is it because you don't know you need to do it? Or is it that you don't know why you need to do it? You're just not motivated. Which of the three is it? Now, you won't do it as fast as that. You do it a lot slower so it can land with them well. But you're giving them three choices now. And like I said before in the first video, I can't think of any other reason why people don't perform. Can't think of any other reason. If you can, let me know and I'll turn it into a performance square. But for the moment, it's a performance triangle. So is it that you don't know how to do the thing? Is it that you don't know you need to do the thing? Or is it that you don't know why you need to do the thing? All right, so it's got to be one of those three. Make sense? Let me know in the comments, by the way, if this is making sense. I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a message. You know how to drop me a message. Just PM me. Drop me a message. I'd love to know whether this is making sense. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get them to pin down which of these three it is, because it can't be anything else. So if they say they don't know how to do the thing, it's our responsibility to make sure they do know how to do the thing. And we talked in the Promotion Academy about ways you would do that. And by the way, this is how you get your answers to a forward-facing question. You talk about how you're going to do something. Forward-facing questions, by the way, 3 stages to it. 3. First one, why is the thing so important? Secondly, how are you going to do it? No more than 3 things. The third part is, what is this going to result in? Loop back to the pain at the beginning that you've exposed and explored. There's other videos on that. So in the Promotion Academy, and if you're part of the Promotion Academy, by the way, go back to early June, where I ran that webinar and we actually talked about how you would actually put this into an answer. So we are going to address that issue. They don't know how to do it. Great, fantastic. I'm glad I understand it. It's just you don't know how to do it. You had the training on it, yeah, but I didn't understand it. And, well, why didn't you ask any questions? No, we're not going to ask that question. Why didn't you ask any questions on the day? They're just going to get defensive. No, we're not going to do that. All right, I get it. Sometimes I've been on training before where I've walked out thinking, I haven't got a clue what all of that was about. And sometimes you don't want to admit that, do you? That's okay. It's all right. But, I appreciate your honesty in admitting to it now. So that now we can do something about it. So, don't know how to do it? Great. We're going to work out ways of making sure you do know how to do the thing. You talk to them about the thing, the performance thing, and they go, I didn't know I needed to do that. I didn't even know that was my role. I thought that was someone else's role, or I didn't get the email, I didn't get the memo, I didn't get the thing that said, if you don't do it, we'll deal with you accordingly, whatever that means. So I didn't know I need to do it. I know how to do it. I know why we need to do it. I just didn't know I needed to do it. Great, brilliant. All right, so I'm telling you now verbally, this is something you need to do. And the second part would be putting it in writing. Send them an email. And the email will say, you need to do the thing, whatever the thing is. Sorted. Third one, don't know why. They don't get it. I'll give you an example of this from my past. When GMP, before they went into special measures, it's one of the reasons why they went into special measures. I always knew something like this would happen. Before I retired as a neighbourhood inspector, I had a superintendent who was trying to get me to get my PCSOs to patrol ASDA to reduce shoplifting. That's not their job. If ASDA want to reduce shoplifting, they should get more security guards, as opposed to using our PCSOs to save them money and security guard their premises for them. He wanted me to put a marked police vehicle with a police officer in it on the forecourt of a petrol station to stop drive-offs, because these things were affecting our performance, apparently. And I didn't want to do that neither, because I spoke to the petrol station owner. He didn't give a, he just didn't care. He actually said to me, look, I can sell a cup of coffee and I will get back the money that I've lost from a drive off. The only reason I'm reporting it is because my accountants told me to do so I can recover the VAT and the taxes and all the rest of it. I don't care. I'm not interested. The only person who was interested was the superintendent. So I wasn't interested. I actually didn't do those things. I was not motivated. I didn't understand why. I still didn't get why, all the way until I retired. I remember challenging the chief on this as well. And he just said, well, there's not much I can do about it. Seriously, he said that? Anyway, he did. I just thought, we better get, I actually remember saying to him, we better get our coats in, don't we? And a year later I did, and a year later he did. So they don't know why, but I think for most, I think we're out of the woods with that sort of performance nonsense now, or are we? Let me know in the comments, send me a message. But I think we're out of those woods. I'd like to think we are, especially with the leaders of the future. Remember, this is about you getting promoted. So we need to go back to vision and passion, right? The reason why we're doing this is because I will, next time, come out with me on patrol with me and we'll go visit whoever the person is who is actually the victim of whatever the thing is. And we'll have a chat with them, and hopefully that'll give you an understanding as to why this is important. So whatever it is, you need to motivate them. And again, we talked in the academy about how you'd actually go about motivating someone. So it's one of those three things. You see how we just addressed it? And whatever the thing is, we've addressed it and we've come to an agreement that I'm going to put you on a program to show you how. You didn't know you need to, you do now. Motivate you, I'm going to motivate you. All right, so let's wind on 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, they're still not doing the thing. They are still not doing the thing, or they're not doing it as much as they need to, or how they should do. So we're going to do the same thing again. We are not going to do action plans because I don't believe action plans work. You can if you want, but it's just my personal view. They just don't work. So instead, we're going to do something called support and inspire, because here's a new CVF. It doesn't say anything about action plans, by the way. There's nothing about action plans in any of the CVF. So if you talk action plans, you're not actually CVF compliant. All right, so we are just going to repeat this all over again. We're going to sit down with them, confront the issue. You're just the sort of person who is, but I've noticed that. Is it because you still don't know how to do it? You still don't get that you need to do it, or you don't know why? So again, we're giving them the choices. They've got to tell you which one of the three it is. It's got to be one of them, and we're not going to let them wriggle out of it. They've got to tell you. So if they're still not motivated, like I wasn't, that superintendent, no matter how much they tried, they could not motivate me to put my PCSOs in Asda or to put a police officer in the forecourt of the petrol station. He was so frustrated with me. I think he was one step away from ordering me to do it, in which case I still would have just appealed it and said it's an unlawful order. It's pointless. Remember, GMP, special measures. This is the reason why they went into special measures, because they were just game playing stats. All right, so that's actually interesting, isn't it? We're perhaps going to talk about that in a future Promotion Academy webinar. What do you do when someone refuses to be motivated? They just can't see the reason why. That might be feedback for the organisation, actually, that you're trying to motivate people to do something where the majority of them think it's completely useless, in which case the organisation has created a barrier, and it's your job as a leader to try and unlock it and feed it back. I fed it back to the chief constable, who just went, it's not as simple as that. I can't really influence it. Chief constable, seriously? Is that the best you can do? All right, so we're just going to repeat the thing again and keep recycling it. I don't believe you'll have to go through this more than 2 cycles, and that'll be it. You'll have nailed the performance. So there's a few other steps that we talked about in the academy as well, about how you take things one step further, because it's all well and good that you've addressed the performance. I'm just going to end on this one. We have a unsatisfactory performance and attendance procedure. Where is your procedure for satisfactory, actually awesome performance? Where is it? Where is your policy for having an awesome, satisfactory performance procedure? Let's just call it awesome, because satisfactory is just mediocre. We're not aiming for mediocre, we're aiming for awesome. So what is your awesome performance procedure? Now, we're going to talk about that in the academy in the future. This is how we use models like appreciative inquiry to motivate individuals. because we want to motivate them towards the thing that they are good at, the thing where they have the skills, the thing where they are naturally inclined to do the thing, whatever the thing is, because not everyone is good at everything. Not everyone is going to be a brilliant road policing officer. Not everyone is going to be a great firearms officer. I did my firearms training when I worked abroad in Bermuda. I was terrible. I only just passed. I scraped through. I was a dreadful firearms officer. In terms of road policing, I could not have done that advanced driving course. No way. Crime, yeah, I love that. I was good at that kind of stuff. Training, I was good at that kind of stuff. Neighborhood policing, oh my goodness, I nailed that. I loved it. That was my first love. So, we're going to focus in the future in the academy on how we actually develop people in a way that focuses on the things that they're really good at. And so we have, if the force doesn't have one, we are going to create a awesome performance procedure. It's the inverse of unsatisfactory performance procedure. See what I'm doing now, and this is another thing we're going to explore more in the academy, is how we actually invert things. We are so focused all the time in the police on the things that are broken, the things that aren't going well. We need to focus more on the things that are going well, the things that are awesome. And by doing that, we're going to inspire and motivate people without having to refer to the stupid CVF thing. Anyway, listen, folks, I hope you found that really, really useful. And if you'd like to find out more information about the Academy, click the link below, send a comment to me, send a message to me, and we will give you an insight. We'll have a 15-minute call, a free consultation call with either myself or one of my career success coaches, where we can explore what the next steps might be, or we might just point you in the direction and just say, just watch these videos, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't really need us to help coach and support you. But if we both feel as though coaching and supporting in the Academy program would be something that would be useful for you, then we can explore it. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. And by the way, comment away. Let me know in the links below, in the comments below, what you thought. And I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye for now.